right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today I have the legendary YouTube spread, whatever you want to call him, Coach Ron Mckie, OC at Batesburg Leesville High School still, I think, I hope.
Yes.
Coach, welcome back. I didn't scare you away the first time.
No, not at all. Thank you so much for having me, man. I had a blast the first time, and I'm glad to be back, dude. I enjoy these.
So do I. I've done 10 in the past 6 days, I think. I'm just pumping them out.
Getting them ready for football, so you don't have to do anything during football.
Yeah, because the spring killed me. Doing 3 sports from February till June killed me.
Yeah, I remember following your Twitter, and
Right.
I was just like, man, Steve does not have like any time to himself.
No, we got COVID January 29th. Me and my girlfriend tested positive the first day of basketball practice. We both got COVID. So I had to wait 10 days. Then from February 10th, maybe, till June 5th, I was coaching just nonstop. And
Dang.
June 5th, that Saturday, I think it was June 6th, I coached 3 basketball games. So right when I was done, right back to it. And then that Monday, football started. So it was like that's why there's
No break.
no hair either after that. It was.
Hey, same here, man. I just decided to go ahead and shave mine off. I was like, you know what? I'm done with it. When the kids mock you, the kids have they can see through the beard. They know what kind of hurts you. And when they start making fun of the hair, I was like, you know what? Piss on it. I'm just going to shave it and just embrace being bald.
Well, I had shaved my beard and they made fun of me for that. So I know I have to keep that because then I look like I'm 12. So they make fun of that.
Yeah, which is also a good thing, because you're young. You look young, so it's always a plus.
I don't feel like I'll be 31 in November. I don't feel like it.
Shut up. I'm about to turn 37, man.
You look younger than me. It's fine. But anyway.
Stop it.
You guys played in the fall, right? How did your season go? How did it work out for you?
We ended up 3-3. We had one of the toughest regions in the 2A. That's what we are. And then also, man, we just got crushed in the playoffs. Our starting running back, which was our best player, got suspended, threw a punch at the last second of this last game, got caught, got ejected. So when you get ejected, you get suspended. And our number one wide receiver, who 2 games ago set a 26-year-old record or broke a 26-year-old record for the most receiving yards and receiving touchdowns in a game, tore his ACL. And then my quarterback had one ankle. So it was one of those games where you get there and you're like, I want to compete. And then you see the team come out there and you're like, can we just have a running clock and get this over with? Because this is going to be awful. And I know you shouldn't say that as a coach. It's like, yeah, you can win any game. I didn't know. That team that whooped us in the first round of the playoffs went on and won the state. Like I think they lost 1 game in 2 years. And I mean, dude, they walked out there and they were just like cock diesel with no pads. Like they were huge. And then when they put the pads on, they were even huger. And I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. And that's something I don't think a lot of coaches actually talk about. Like we know there's some games where we go in and we're like, man, I just hope we don't get blown out right here because this team's really good. And we don't have the Jimmies to compete with their Joes. But when you go on social media, everyone's like, no, you're supposed to win every game and do everything because Nick Saban and Bill Belichick says it. I'm like, I don't have Saban's players or Belichick's like smarts. He's a genius. He's one of the best for the reason.
Right. That happened to us the very first game, and we played one of the best teams in the state, and they walked out and their thighs were this big, and we all looked at each other, and we were like, okay, all right. But then what happened was we had hope. We had the ball for 11 minutes.
Nice.
They scored, and we ran ISO over. I kid you not, ISO over and over and over. We scored. They come down and score in like 3 plays, one of those games. We get the ball back, and what do we see? 4 eyes and 3 texts because they got tired of it.
Yeah.
And we looked at each other because we only had 2 run plays in at the time. And we're like, well, here we go. Because football started March 3rd. First practice was March 3rd. 2 weeks later was the game. And that was the first time we saw the kids since October. So we were like, well, here we go. But their thighs were like this big. And we're just like, shit.
Yeah. And this is what I like about COVID is we all have this facade as coaches that we're the greatest coaches in the world. We know all the X's and O's. We can out scheme you. We know it's a chessboard, and we're thinking 4 steps ahead and everything like that. And COVID actually showed that no, it's actually the teams with the players, because the teams with the players, they could overcome their mistakes. Now, maybe if there was a full season, yes, but to me, this year showed that if you don't have players, you're not going to win games, at all, because good players make crappy coaches look a lot better. And I'm not saying that we're all crappy. I'm just saying they hide a lot of stuff. And this year, it was essentially just rolling the balls out. Be like, hey, let's play.
For me, I learned technique matters. I sacrificed a lot of technique and drills for scheme because I panicked. Because, we had 2 weeks and we only played 6 games, but I panicked. And so I've overcompensated this June of what techniques can I work on that fit every run play we have so I can steal reps.
Yeah.
And so I knew that at the end of the year. I said, I sacrificed a lot of drills because I panicked. I got to have this in. I got to have this in. Well, we got to do this. What if they do this? And then I sat down with myself. I said, Steve, you idiot. You got mad because they couldn't do this because you didn't do it, And I didn't get mad that they didn't know it, but it was why can't you double team here or do this here? Well, Steve, you didn't do it enough. You were worried about getting it installed. So I was.
Yep. And it also forced other coaches to realize maybe I don't need all that stuff.
Right.
Maybe we can simplify and actually be halfway decent without having an entire a playbook as thick as the Bible, Yeah.
I mean, first game we had 2 run plays in that I felt confident because I focused on what could they do. Then I said these 2, and then as it went on, I got to 4, and I said, okay, now we're good, but we got to master those.
Yeah.
And then we came in this summer and said, we're going to be heavy run, Steve. So you get this. I had to fight for certain run plays too. Now I think we're going to be heavy run, but the next one I'm going to go in on Monday with my hands and knees and try to get wide zone. I'm going to go, can we just get wide zone? I had to fight for inside zone. I had to fight for it, but.
Wow. Well, what'd you have then? What were y'all gap scheme?
They wanted to be heavy gap scheme because before it was a new head coach. He got hired in February of 2020, right before COVID. Then I took the job with him as the run game coordinator in June of 2020, like an idiot, because I think COVID was going to last forever. Second year OC, he wanted to be heavy gap scheme because the zone they did traditional, stay on your tracks and stuff, and he said they would just go lateral. They weren't going up the field. Guys were getting in the backfield. They didn't really have a true O-line guy, I guess. I guess I am. I guess I don't know. But so they said heavy gap. And I came in and I said, okay, that's what you want, fine. Then about day 3, I go, well, what about this? Can we do inside zone? Why? And I said, because I like to combo my zone. So we're going to steal reps with ISO because it looks like it.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, no, it's okay. We'll stick to gap. We get to the season. Steve, go put zone in. It just works so much more with the offense. And I said, you got it. Because we had a hand down tight end. We had an H-back. We could do whatever.
Oh, wow.
Our tight end was a sophomore that was 6'3", I think. So we had that. And so we were able.
That's nice to have, man.
But they wanted power read, ISO, and all that. And I said, great. But what happens when that doesn't work? Or what happens when they start coming inside? What happens with this? And so we put in inside zone. I finally got pin and pull. I put pin and pull in 2 days. 2 days.
Because it's simple, man. It's simple.
Yeah, and we used it the last game of the year. And the first time we ran, I got 12 yards. And I looked over and I was like, damn, should have done that from the get-go.
Yeah.
Then we came in this year and I said, we got to have power. Let's do inside zone. So we switched our installs. Now I'm doing a gap zone, and we're done.
Okay.
We're done. But yeah, it was rough. We went 1-6, but we played 3 top 10 ranked teams. So we were like, this is supposed to happen. It's okay.
Yeah.
Now we're losing.
The schedule didn't help.
We're losing kids to Twitch. My left tackle's not playing right now because he's a Twitch guy.
Is he getting views?
I have no idea. They won't give me his name because they know I'll go find him. They'll know I'll get on there and find him. We go to his store every day. We take the minibus to his door and slam on the door.
Hey, man. If he's getting that money, we both know there's some Twitch people, man, that make like bank.
And I know. I kind of want to fire it up. I want to fire it up and see if I can't make money on Madden or something.
It was fun during COVID. That's the one, you always got to look at the good things. And being able to actually play and stream Twitch was really fun. And you were there in the stream and playing, and we played. Yeah, we played, didn't we? You were the Bears.
Unfortunately, I was the Bears, and Mitch Trubisky, he cannot throw on the game either. That's the other problem.
Yeah, and just connecting that, I really enjoyed that. Now, I'm not one of those people that can, win tournaments and everything and all the exploits and stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, buddy, I've already told everybody around me, once NCAA comes back out, don't bother me. 3-day binge. Like I'm going to be a relapsed heroin addict. I'm going to fire up my PS4 or 5 if I have to go buy a PS5 because it's only exclusive for that. So be it. And I'm just going to sit there and just underwear, and I'm going to play the hell out of NCAA 24 or whatever it is, and just tell everybody to piss off. I am looking forward to that, man.
I might quit track just to do that so I have more time.
Yeah. Yeah, and then if you stream it, you'll probably make more than you would coaching track.
That's true. I work in a good football place. They pay me well for football, but everything else is kind of
it's trash.
Especially with 6-hour track meets.
Yeah.
Except for COVID. COVID, I got to leave after the throwers were done. Because of COVID, we were done. I leave. And I was like, "You got it. Don't tell me twice."
Yeah, no, not at all. I can't. I used to be football and basketball, and when I went to the new spot, I didn't have to do any. I only had to do football, and I'm never doing another sport again. Like, they try to guilt trip you, like, hey, you're a football coach. You got to help the school. And it's like, no, like, you're right. I am a football coach. I'm not doing anything else. Like, that's not my fault you can't find somebody else to do it. I don't like these sports. I don't know track. The only thing I know is when they shoot the gun, you go from point A to point B. That's it. I don't know form. I don't know technique. I have serious white man's disease. Like, if you want to time my 40, you got to break out the sundial, buddy, because it's going to be a while. And, basketball, I played basketball in high school, but I only did that to pass the time. My buddies were playing. And my dad was a basketball coach. That's it. I don't care about the other sports.
I love coaching basketball because it's constantly coaching, but this summer killed me. I coached Saturdays, Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays in the summer.
No, more power to you, man. And that's another thing. Basketball, football, you have a little bit of control.
Mm-hmm.
You can call the play. You kind of know what the other team's going to do. You have a whole week to plan. You can move around. You can do stuff. Basketball, I don't know what it's like for you, but here it's like Tuesdays, Fridays,
mm-hmm.
different opponents. You really don't change games to scout. And at the end of the day, it's all the players. Like, if you do, that's really Jimmy's and Joe's.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have any players, you're screwed, man. If they can't put that ball in that goal, it doesn't matter how many times you practice. Like, for instance, we would practice free throws all the time. Like, literally everybody would shoot at least 50 to 60 free throws per practice. We still couldn't hit the shits. And, fans are like a nut hair away from you, right behind you. And they're like, don't you practice free throws? And I just want to turn around and when I was coaching, be like, no shit, man. Okay. Like, we practice this every single day. Like, literally, this is one of the things. They just can't shoot. Maybe if they practice outside of this instead of video games or you making have a job or something, then maybe we would be successful. But, I mean, I can't teach them to shoot. Like, I can, but if they're not taking the practice, do it. And I'm getting on my soapbox, but yeah, I can't. That's another thing, man. Basketball, the fans, they're right behind you just screaming. Like, literally, you're on row 1, they're on row 2, just screaming. And it's like, guys, pardon my friends, but shut the fuck up. Like seriously, like I'm right here, man. You're yelling at me like I don't hear you. Like you're yelling like you can't just be like, hey, Coach Mckie, what's going on right here? And if you want to have a conversation, I'll have a conversation with you. But you're just screaming at me like I'm the one that jacked up that dumbass shot in the corner with like no shot clock. You just because Steph Curry does it. Like, no.
That was the nice thing about COVID. We had to be 6 feet apart in the chairs. There was no fans, so it was weird at first. After a while, we were like, "Oh, there's nobody yelling at you." But I'm the assistant coach. I could sit there and, because I coach basketball at a different high school. I coach football at one and basketball at a different one. So it's change of scenery.
All trades, man.
Hey, during COVID, nobody was hiring, and then when he wanted to pay me thousands of dollars to coach basketball, I said, "Yep, you got it." I'll be honest with you. I took thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I'll take. Yeah, you don't have to ask me twice. Sorry, it froze.
Stupid internet because of these podcasts.
I love it, man. Who you got? You got Comcast?
AT&T.
Oh, I hate AT&T, man.
Well, yeah, it's fine. It's supposed to be the fastest internet they got.
And it's like 5 gigabytes or whatever. Or I don't even, dude. Like, what do you got? DSL or cable or?
We don't even have. We just stream everything.
Wow.
We don't have cable. Well, we have AT&T TV now, but it's still streaming.
Okay.
Before that, we had Sling. Don't do that.
No, I hate Sling, man.
Don't do that. It's a trap.
Yeah.
But then my parents have Xfinity, so I just log into theirs and use that sometimes.
Okay. That's smart.
My dad don't know. My mom gave it to me. My dad don't know I steal it, but my mom's like, "Here you go."
You can't steal from your parents, man. It's like the law of the land.
He will. He'll be like, "Oh, I pay this much. You can pay me this much to use it." That's how it'll work.
Yeah.
That's why my mom was boy. We'll move along because I know you want to go watch the thing. So how is the transition from being a spread guy to a run guy now, Coach?
I hate you. I actually like it, man. I do. I like it. I'm not going to spread or spill the tea yet. What we're doing some pretty cool things that I have not seen anyone actually do. Mm-hmm. And we're utilizing some stuff that is really messing with defenses during 7-on-7. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen when we actually get to run the ball and keep doing the same stuff. But I have found through my study this year, like, okay, so that playoff game, that really destroyed me. And I was like, I do not want to be in that position again. If we have all the, we lost 55-0. That was like the first time we got shut out in 3 years of my OC career. I was like, never again. That was awful. So I went to the drawing board. I looked at some stuff, and I realized that defensive coordinators, they don't know what the hell to do with the tight end work. Like if you listen to all the clinics, you follow all the gurus on Twitter and everything like that, they're putting up either 10P, they're putting up 11P with the hand down. I still call it 11P with an H back. I know people say that's 20. That ain't a running back. That's a tight end. That's still 11P. And then they're defending and drawing up air raid concepts.
Right.
So I was like, okay, if this is what everybody's going to and everybody's doing that, what happens if you do mix in some of those tight end wing, buck sweep, one back power counter and stuff like that, because you don't see that. And it works, man. Like I'm smart enough to know that I'm dumb. So when I see teams that are doing it and being successful, and I hear like Saban saying things like, one guy's going to come out and show up in the wishbone and no one's going to know how to defend it because they haven't seen it because they've been going against spread all the time. And everything on Saturdays and Sundays for the most part is 11P personnel and stuff like that and throwing it. It's like, okay, that's where everything's at. If it's that age-old thing of, if you're going to do what everybody else does, you got to be better than everybody else. Or you can be contrarian. So I was like, okay, what are contrarian offenses? Well, the single wing piss on that. I'm not doing that because and this is something I found also, and I'm going to get on my soapbox right here.
Go ahead.
Everyone shits on the spread and the air raid and the run and shoot, saying you need to have a quarterback. You know, if you don't have a quarterback, you can't run this offense. And I agree to an extent. But every offense has that thing that if you don't have, you can't run. For instance, the single wing. You can go and listen to, I forget his name, Rick Darlington. He will tell you if you don't have that B back, he's got to be smart. He's got to be tough. He's got to know the plays. He got to call everything. If you don't have that, you can't run it. But you don't hear people saying, hey, if you want to run the single wing, you got to have a B back. They don't tell you that. They just say, hey, everyone should run this because it's easy. No. Wing T, you got to have guards. If you don't have guards that can pull and do all that stuff, then you're not going to be a good wing T team. They don't talk about that. The flex bone, you've got to have a good B back or a fullback and a quarterback because he's got to call the things. They don't talk about that. Why? Because it's really easy to shit on air raid and run and shoot and stuff like that about the quarterback instead of reflecting and looking at themselves and be like, well, damn, I'm a flex bone coach. I need a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I need one. I need one that's fast, makes good decisions, can make the reads, all of that. Because we can both of us, we can pull up games of flex bones teams that have really crappy quarterbacks and they're not setting the world on fire.
Right.
But no one says anything like that because I've come to the conclusion a lot of coaches are Karens. They are, man. Like, you say one thing about whatever philosophy they have, their panties getting a wad and they're just screaming. And defensive coaches are the same way. You say anything bad about Saban stuff, you got the Sabanites coming at you. You say anything bad about the 4-2-5 and Gary Pattersonites come out and do it. And it's like, guys, why are we ridicule the kids for being this sensitive, and then someone posts something just not even tagging anybody. And that's what I found on Twitter, posting some of this stuff. You don't even have to tag anybody, but people just get offended. Like, oh, Ron's talking about me. It's like, no, dude, I'm not. I'll tag you if I'm talking about you. Like, but that's. Let me put the soapbox away, man. That was me on the soapbox.
I was about to add to it because I said this the other day to somebody. It's funny when you watch football and they run the ball and they run like 3 yards and they say, that's a good hard run. When you throw the ball and it's a 3 yard, they go, oh, it was only a 3 yard completion.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't understand. My old head coach and I've never got into it with a head coach. Like, usually I'm like, whatever. I go into my back in high school days of when someone's yelling at me, in my mind, I'm like, they're not yelling at me. Mm-hmm. They're yelling at someone else. But my old head coach and I, like, 3 yard run. He's like, why aren't we doing that a lot? Because the next play was a 3 yard key screen. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, tell me, what is the difference? Like, literally, what is the difference between these two? They're both 3 yards. They're both moving the defense, everything like that. He could not tell me. And then, testosterone got in it. We just both yelled at each other about it. I essentially said, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then that was when I was like, you know what? It's time to move on right there, because I can't believe I said that. I was embarrassed that I said that, honestly. But sometimes I think we just make this game too difficult.
I did the same thing years ago. That's why I left. It was time to go. It was the opposite, though. He told me to put everything in. I had to have 8 run plays, 50 pass concepts. He literally said, sit down and write 50 formations. I want 50 formations. And I have to signal them in. I have to signal in formations. And at the time, I went along with it because I was a 25-year-old OC. Like, I'm the OC. I'm going to go along with this. And then one day, the light bulb went off. And I was like, okay, this is stupid. Because Dino Babers was at EIU and left, so the whole thing was going snap the ball every 12 seconds. And I said, that's great when you have 6 formations and 2 run plays and 6 pass plays. It's perfect. When you want 50, I can't do it. So it was the same thing. I got yelled at in practice a lot, and one day I finally yelled back in practice, and it's time to go.
Yeah. It's just like, come on. And that's the whole thing. Have a system, whatever it is. And, everyone, when they hear that, they think, oh, a system I'm going to create. It's like, no. There's like 5 systems out there. Learn it. Air raid, run and shoot, wing T, flex bone, double wing, single wing. I mean, Pick one of those and run it. And if you come at me with the West Coast, get the hell out. At a high school level, get the hell out. I don't want to talk to you, because if you can do that, great. You're smarter than me. I'd like all that stuff. But pick one of those offenses and just go all in on them. Stop. And then once you get great at it, like you understand it, then you can tweak things. But I think too many coaches go in and they're like, you know what? I'm going to take the flex bone. I'm going to take the wing tee. I'm going to take the air raid. I'm going to sprinkle in some run and shoot, and I'm going to create my own offense. It's like, dude, no, you're not. Because if people could do that, they already would have. Like, no one has combined those. I know they have in the Madden playbooks and NCAA, but not at least at the high school level. No.
Or good luck and let me know how it goes. If it works, I'll copy it. But if it doesn't.
Yeah. If it works, please make that coach too.
Yeah.
Of course, because I'll be the first one. Certify that bitch. I will be there.
No. You have to have a system and then know when it's not working to tweak things. That bothers me to death. That's why I'm looking at wide zone. Can we move people vertically? Well, maybe not. So what do I have to do? Move them horizontally. So how can I do that? Or we need to get to the outside. Maybe put them buck sweep. Maybe we got a guy that can down block. Whatever it is.
That's what I like at. I know I give the wing tee. First off, I give the wing tee so much crap because, dude, the Karens of the wing tee, man. It's fun. It's fun. I like it, man. They get really mad at that. And then they come at the air raid. I'm like, I don't care, like, at all. But y'all do. But the rules are so simple. Like, I understand why people do it. Uh-huh. It's very simple. It walks you through, like, what you're looking at, the if-then structure. I've never understood why a lot of wing tee teams don't throw the ball more, because, I mean, that's the number one thing. Just throw the ball. They put 11 people in there. Just throw the ball. Like, that's all you have to do, and then you'll be really successful. But I think it's that mentality. Like, we're the wing tee. We're going to run it. It's like, play within the system.
Or what if you get a kid that's really fast and you can throw him the ball and you don't do it?
Yeah, it's like, I don't – to my kids, what we're doing right now, where it's a little mix of everything. They love it because the wide receivers are wide open, like wide open. The running backs like it because they're actually touching it. Those hybrid kids that can be a running back and can be a slot, they like it because they're doing both. They're doing sweeps and getting little dump passes. My quarterback likes it because he doesn't – I'm not asking him more. I realize in the air raid, you're putting a lot on. Like, it can be quarterbacks. Some quarterbacks like that. They like to having everything, making the checks, making the read, like playing like a real Madden game. Others, they don't. They're like, hey, just tell me who to hand the ball off to, please. Right, or if you are going to make me throw the ball, just tell me like 1 to 2. That's it. And in my earlier days, I was like, no, you've got to do it this way. You've got to know all 5. You got to know the coverage. You got to do all this. And now with COVID and moving, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to play to the strengths of my players instead of having my players play to what I like.
Right. So I know we're stretched on time, so we'll move on. What'd you think of Loki? Because I have a friend, all we do is talk Marvel. And I actually got mad at Marvel because they kept saying WandaVision sets up Doctor Strange. And I said, that's horseshit.
Yeah.
Loki sets this up. WandaVision does nothing. And that's the only argument I had with it.
Yeah, I know you're a Doctor Strange fan. Like, that's your thing. I really liked it. I would rank them Loki, Captain and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, sorry, and WandaVision. Like, Wanda, I was expecting something to happen, and I was just sad every episode. It's like, I know, listen, we're in the middle of COVID. I know shit's sad. Give me something to be happy. I don't want to watch, like, this beautiful woman cry every single episode, and then having kids, the last episode, spoiler, when she turns to the kids and is like, thanks for having me. I'm sitting there like, oh my God, why the fuck am I watching this, man? This is awful. And Loki was just fun. Like, it was fun. That solidified, like, I like Loki now. Like, I've always liked him, but that just I'm mad that there's nothing else now. Like the What If, great, but that comes out in August.
Yeah.
What am I going to watch now? There's nothing for me to watch.
That's true. And then they said What If is actually supposed to affect things. Something happened.
It's like from what I've seen and watched, because after each Loki, I go on YouTube and I watch all my favorite YouTubers talk about, dude, their eagle eyes, unbelievable.
Yeah,
like this is an Easter egg. This is an Easter egg. I'm like, how God dog, man. I never said that, but they said that this is now because like the What If is because of Loki and supposedly Doctor Strange. This leads into Doctor Strange too, because Doctor Strange falls in there and sees all these, and then he's like, "Oh, shit's getting real. So I need to figure this out." I'm like, "Just bring it to me. Just give it to me. I want it all."
Well, that's why COVID ruined this. We would have known by now.
Yeah.
And then I'm worried about Doctor Strange being such a big movie, like too big, because it's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be Wanda, his own storyline, and let's not forget he's in Spider-Man.
So, do you think Spider-Man is going to be like Civil War was, and then tying it up with Doctor Strange?
I think so, because there was a report that Spider-Man finds Doctor Strange's place, in New York or whatever, and Doctor Strange is doing something that Spider-Man doesn't like or doesn't agree with, is what they reported. So I'm like, well, what's going on? Oh, and then I saw Doctor Strange is supposed to be Iron Man, like he's supposed to be that mentor to him. But yeah, it's supposed to set everything up, and so like the end of Far From Home, that's supposed to be like after Loki, so that could be that multiverse kicking in.
Yeah.
I read everything, and then the Eternals is supposed to be connected because
I don't know anything about them. Like Marvel's now getting into comics that I don't know anything about.
I read that they are hidden on Earth, and they never showed themselves until now. And they said, "What has happened now?" Well, the multiverse. That's why they're showing themselves again. So apparently they're tied into it. And then, what is it? The Shang-Chi movie. It's connected to Doctor Strange because it has Wong in it.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
and the Abomination.
And so, yeah, he's back from the worst Hulk movie I've ever seen.
Shut your mouth. That was better than that other one with Eric Bana.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I'll give you that one.
Yes. All I want, please, Marvel, give me some good X-Men and give me some good Fantastic Four. That's it. I want to see a dope Doctor Doom.
Yes.
That's what I want.
I thought that's what was coming in WandaVision. I thought it was Mephisto, Nightmare, or that. It was one of them. And that's what pissed me. WandaVision had too many rumors. WandaVision had too many rumors and like guys saying, like Paul Bettany, screw that guy. I worked with an actor I've always wanted to work with, and it was himself.
Which was pretty cool. I'm going to be honest. Like he played an entire fan base.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, I was so deep into the rumors that I lost.
Mephisto.
How people get into politics? That's how deep I was into this.
Which is probably a little bit healthier than people getting into politics.
I don't know if it was or not. I'm still waiting to see I'm still waiting to see that. And then it was reported that Benedict Cumberbatch was supposed to be in WandaVision.
Yeah.
But because of COVID travel, he couldn't. So then, anyway, Loki, they should have said Loki sets up Doctor Strange. That's what pissed me off. But X-Men are going to show up. They have to now. Now that you've done this, they have to show up.
I can't wait. Well, also, they've opened up the door like Tony Stark can come back. Captain America can come back. All of this stuff. So now I want to see a Spider-Man and a Venom. Like, I want to see that. Maximum Carnage was one of my favorite games that I played. Never beat it. Was never able to beat it. I can make it to the last level, and then Carnage would whip my ass. But
it's true.
Oh yeah, it was so hard, man.
It was. We're going way back now. We're going way back.
Hey, I would always. You had to beat them twice. You beat them, And it's like, yes, you bought it. And he's like, I'm back. And it's like, I used all of my superheroes to beat you the first time. So I don't have that ability where I can memorize your moves and beat you all the time.
Yeah.
And then they didn't have saves. So if you got beat
Yeah.
and you didn't have any extra lives, you're going all the way back to the beginning. And if I didn't spend my $50 on that, if it was my parents' money, I would have broke that mother in half. I was like, the red cartridge and everything. Oh,
Yeah.
it was awesome, man. It was awesome.
I do have the Marvel one for Xbox. I gotta keep playing it. It's okay. It's okay.
You play Ultimate Alliance?
I have not.
Oh God, that's awesome. It is awesome.
I'm telling you, I had no life from the end of January until.
Yeah, I know. You probably just came home, slept, ate, took a shower, and then left again.
Yep. Or to the time during COVID, I could not taste an onion. And that was the weird part.
Did you get it bad?
My smell came back in May. So from February to May, I had no smell. So if we're on the football field and somebody was grilling, the coach like, can you guys smell that? And I look over like, screw you guys. I don't know what's going on. And yeah, we took bite of onions.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at your situation. I'm just like, dude, right now we have freaking the Delta is just like going crazy in our state. So now we're like, oh goodness, are we going to have football anymore? Are they going to put the precautions back in and say, because right now we have a whole 11 game season, like before COVID. And we're like, yes, let's do that. But now rumblings and rumors, like they're going to cut that and go back to just region play. And everybody's going to have to wear masks again. And you have to social distance. And we're just like, oh my God,
real quick before you go, did you guys have to wear masks under the helmet?
No, we didn't.
We had the mask that went over the face mask. That's the dumbest thing ever.
I'm going to be honest, man. We had all these precautions, but once the season started, it was like no one cared. No, I didn't want to catch the damn thing. So if the team was on all the way on this end, I was all the way on the other end. And I'm kind of a germaphobe anyways. So I didn't need a reason to tell people to get away from me when they were coughing and stuff like that. And I had to get quarantined one time because like my entire class got it, or someone was in my class and they asked. But if anyone asked me, hey, were you around so-and-so? I'm always like, are they quarantined? They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I was too. Send me home. I don't want to be here. Just send me home. Let me hang out with my kids.
Yeah, we did everything right and still got it. So we were just like, and it's the worst. That thing up the nose is terrible. And they have to do both nostrils for the rapid and the normal. And if the rapid's positive, there you go. Hour later, we get emails. You are positive. And we were like, oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it. It's way above my pay grade. I'm not smart enough to get into this. But
we're the same thing. We're the same thing. They said they told us go back to normal. Besides masks in schools, that's the next fight.
Oh, we don't even have masks. I just don't want 30 kids in a class. It was nice only having like 10. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, oh, I can actually teach. I'm not a institutionalized babysitter right here that's just trying not to get them to kill each other. Now I can actually be a teacher and teach them stuff and kind of get some as close to hands-on as I could because of the restrictions. But I think, man, they're about to just throw us back in there and be like, YOLO.
We did. We went from having 12 kids and then it came back to like 18, and now we're going back full.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I know you got to go watch a movie.
Yeah.
I could talk to you for probably another 2 hours because you speak my simple language.
Great minds think alike, man.
And you got the great beard going on. I keep mine shorter. But no, I appreciate you doing this because I'm a nobody. So for someone like you to come on, I always am like,
you're somebody, dude.
Nah,
you're Steve.
I'm just Steve. Don't worry about the last name. It's just Steve.
Dude, at least people call you Steve. People try to call me Mackie and they just butcher it. McKee. Mackay. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care, man. Whatever you want to call me. I'm not. And I know you're supposed to be like, that's your last name. You got to correct them. It's like, no, I just don't. I don't care. Like, just call me Ron. That's fine.
Yeah, that's why I'm just Steve. My last name, don't worry about it. Do not worry about what it is. Some people probably don't even know my last name. I think people I work with probably don't know.
Probably not. And that's fine because they can talk to you. They don't have to get tongue-tied.
But no, I do appreciate it because how big of a person you are in the coaching community to come on is really, what's the word? I'm just thankful. I'm just going to put it that way. I'm just thankful people like you come on because I'm a nobody. And I mimic you guys. I'm like, how can I help out coaches? So I try to mimic a little bit, but I don't try to step on anybody's toes. I don't do anything. And your content that you put out that's simple for me to see just helps a lot. So I appreciate that. Like that, the one, what was it? The 6-play thing that I'm reading. And I'm like, yeah, it's simple. And it clicks something in my brain. I'm like, he speaks my language. So we're good to go. But no, I appreciate it. I got to get my revenge on Madden at some point.
Hey man, I'm rusty. Anybody can. I tried playing 2K the other day.
Oh,
that was actually fun. Although I was talking to my kids, and if for those coaches that are thinking, should you play video games? I think you should. It's another touch point you can have with your players, and you can talk to them and engage them and do stuff like that. Do you play 2K?
I have it. I just haven't played it.
I didn't know they changed the analog to actually shoot. So the analog shoots and it dribbles. So I'm trying to dribble and I'm jacking up fadeaway 3-pointers at the half court line. And I asked my kids, I was like, what, do you use the analog or do you use the X? Because you can use both. And they start laughing and mocking me. I'm like, guys, I'm just trying here. What are you doing? They go, you got to use X to shoot, and then you switch them in the settings to with the analog, and that's how you can do all the moves and everything. I was like, oh well, damn, I wish they would have said that when I went through like the tutorial to play. But of course, the first thing I did when I got in there, I went online and I picked the 1980s All-Star East. I had to get my Larry, just trying to bomb threes. It was fun. You should try it, man.
It's sitting over there. I need to get it.
It's fun. It is fun.
All right. Well, I'll let you go watch your movie. I appreciate everything you do. Appreciate you coming on here. You're so busy. I'll get you back on in a year. You're so busy. We'll be another year.
We're all about to be busy with football.
Yeah. For me, not till August 8th. That's when
I've got 4 more practices and a dead period of 3 days, and then we start. So August 2nd. That's when we start.
We go till the end of July. We take 10 days off, and we're right back in. We get a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, from Coach Ron Mckie, the YouTube spread star, to Coach Steve from the suburbs of Illinois, we're signing off.